gasoline I smell?
Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you all are doing amazing as always, and it's me, Joe, as always. And today, guys, I want to talk about the new Exorcist movie called The Pope's Exorcist. So this is a new horror movie, and I just saw it and I got very much like mixed feelings about this movie. Okay, now before we get into it, guys, hit that like button, or if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much. Now let's talk about Pope's Exorcist. So this movie is another one of those exorcist movies, and it is, really interesting that we got another one. Like, we just, I believe last year in October we got that movie, Pray for the Devil, which was like another exorcism movie. And this one is, I'm gonna say, a bit better. Now, there are many things that I actually liked about this movie, and I'd say I'm gonna start with the biggest positive of this movie, and that's Russell Crowe as Father Gabriel. So he's really good in the movie. Like, Russell Crowe is, a good actor, and he's very capable and also likable. So he's probably the best thing about this movie, to be honest. He's like really, he's funny. He can like really he can just act so well, and he's really likable. He's a really good actor. He's really likable, and he's really likable in this movie. Like, you like this guy. You're like, yeah, this, Father Gabriel is actually like a cool guy. So he's really good in this movie. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this movie was that it was like sort of like partially based on real events that actually like happened, because Father Gabrielle Amorth was, the main hero portrayed by Russell Crowe, the main priest, or Pope's exorcist. He was actually like a real guy, a real man, and he was like a Roman Catholic priest who was appointed as an exorcist of the Pope. So he was like his personal exorcist, so sort of kinda. So that's really interesting. Like, this stuff about this movie is definitely interesting, and then after you see the movie, you can do a little bit of research, and it's kind of interesting, sort of like seeing what's actually real, and about this movie, essentially, and about the story of this movie, and about Father Gabriel Amorth, what's real, what's not. It's interesting. Like, this part of the movie is really interesting. Russell Crowe is really good. The cinematography is also really good. So all of this stuff is good. Now let's talk about the bad, okay? And there's a lot of bad stuff in this movie. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So first of all, this movie is like, it reminds me, or no, not reminds me, but it's sort of like if Marvel made an Exorcist movie. Yes, I am 100% serious here, okay? So this movie is like, it takes itself seriously, but it's also like batshit crazy. Like, the stuff that's going on in this movie is just sometimes so over the top, but the movie commits to it, which I really enjoyed, and it really felt like a Marvel movie, like some action scenes from a Marvel movie. But if, the Avengers were like exorcists. I know it sounds crazy. I get that, but it really is like that, and it sort of works, but it's also so over the top that it just feels a bit funny. Like, obviously you get the demon voices, and like the kids that are like, I'm gonna rip you apart, stuff like that. You'll get all of that in this movie, but at the same time, it's like, and it's so over the top, and it is so action heavy, almost. Like, it is really interesting, like, they really commit to it, they really are like sort of pushing this really cool these really cool action exorcism scenes. I don't even know how to describe it. It's really weird, but it is also like again really over the top. Now this movie definitely again is not awful or bad, and again I think I think that the best thing about this movie is again Russell Crowe in this movie. He's genuinely really good, likable, and you kind of enjoy the journey he's on, right? So it is really cool. Also, what I enjoyed about this movie is that it doesn't feel like a super low budget horror movie. Sometimes these exorcism movies about like exorcists and stuff like that, sometimes you get like a pretty cheap movie. That is just super cheap. This movie actually feels solid. Now this movie was made by Sony, I think, and their Scream Gems company. And it looks decent. Like the cinematography, the soundtrack, the color grading, how the movie looks and feels, all of that is actually great. Like the cinematography is sometimes really interesting. It all looks good, so that's at least that's good. But again, the exorcisms and the way they are like so over the top and sometimes like a really questionable CGI. Again, I can't recommend this movie. And I'm getting a bit sick and tired of these Exorcist movies. But if you are like an enjoyer of exorcism movies, I think you'll enjoy this one. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that this is, better than most of those, exorcist movies. Now, when I say Exorcist movies, I'm not talking about the Exorcist series or like the first movie mainly. I'm talking about like exorcism movies in general. So that's kind of that. But yeah, guys, so this is definitely a movie that, again, I wouldn't recommend to everyone. But if you are that person that really enjoys these Exorcist movies, go ahead and watch the movie. It's not that bad, and the best thing about it is definitely, again, the performance of Russell Crowe, because again, he's really good in this movie. Anyway, guys, this is my review of The Pope's Exorcist. That's kind of it for today. Again, not a bad movie, but definitely not something that I would rush to the theater to see again. Alright? So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care as always, and bye.